Well, good morning, everyone. This is Mother TheoSophia. I'm so glad you came today. It's wonderful. I apologize for yesterday. It was just so hectic here. It was not conducive to me sitting and being here where I am today. So I hope you understand that and know that in your own journey, if it's something that you just can't do to be the you're meant to be, then you don't do it. It's the only other answer. So, but we're here today. And let's say good morning to Chase and Marby and Chase and Marby. How wonderful is that? I'm glad you're here. I am hoping that everyone enjoyed hearing Jesus speak last week because he would like to speak once a week, which will be tomorrow. And with an intention of speaking to the world. Good morning, Barbara and Cavell. I'm just saying that tomorrow Jesus is going to speak again and would like to have it be more of a once a week thing, that he would like to come and to speak and share and perhaps a little teaching to be with you. So I have agreed, and I'm sharing with you. If you would not like that, just let me know. But otherwise, we'll go forward with that tomorrow. And certainly if anyone has any questions, just write them in. But what I wanted to talk about today, there's just so many things we could have a conversation about. And my first thing is, well, I can't talk back and forth with you, but we'll try to get it going eventually someday here. I want to talk about, well, what do you do if you're on the path, this ascension path? What does that really mean? And what are you meant to do? And really what that means is to embrace the four lower bodies of your system, which is your personality, first, second, and third. And yes, even the heart chakra. Okay, we love hearing Jesus, very profound and loving. She would love to hear him again. Okay, so first you're going to do that. And what that's going to do is begin to have your consciousness lift from a human, which in humanity we can have negative feelings a lot. So what you're going to be doing is working on clearing those things that come up, patterns. We have 144,000 pieces of ourself that must all have that clarity. And you'll be surprised sometimes what it is. Other times you already know what those things are. So your intention and your participation in that path is to be willing to discover more about you, about all those levels. The root is usually about safety. It's also where you're going to find your vitality and your well-being. Second chakra, that's going to be all your emotions. Emotions and feelings are different. Feelings are held in the heart. Emotions are in that second chakra. In the back, there's identity. And as you go upon this journey, you're going to find out all the different ways you fool yourself by who you think you are, what other people think you are. And it's discovering and unwinding all those things. And it's your sexuality, and it's your finances. Now, the blessing that the back of that second chakra does bring you as you get to where you can lift that chakra into higher consciousness is who you are in the becoming self does show itself there. But you have to get through all those other things and have them become clear. So, good morning, Cavell, Barbara Ward, and Kathy Marino. Good morning. I just love it that you're all coming. Don't stop. It's a wonderful feeling. So, first you're going to work on a lot of clearing. But it's not just clearing. It's also saying, hello, who are you? It's an identification of the self and who we leave home and are is why we become so puzzled. It's filled with everyone else's thoughts and old karmic experiences. It's not the definition of who you are truly. So the path helps to unwind that psychologically and how you see things. It's really choosing to see things in light versus seeing things in the lower reality of humans. Those are two different things, different levels of consciousness. So the more that you can raise yourself up into a higher state of consciousness and, wow, what am I missing about this? There has to be something else. And it is written by many scholars that in this experience of time, it is about becoming political. You won't hear me talk about it much, but in my own journey, I'm very much have my own opinions, shall I say, and where my heart teaches me. And that's the most important thing. You want to let your heart follow you, not a political party, but you want to listen to the person and what they see. Some people, I can see this great light come down around them for Mr. Biden, and his eyes turned such a radiant blue. I know God walks with him. I can see it. But maybe you don't. Other people won't. So this is the kind of thing that as you develop your consciousness and that path of yours, you're going to have a new awareness about these things that perhaps, well, what do I do? And what do you think? What's the truth? There's going to be a frequency about truth. I can hear someone lying in a moment. The frequency is just such a low frequency, and I can feel the twists and the twangles in it, and their mind trying to figure out how to say it. So this is what the path is about, to have the development of all these things within you that you can live life in a different happiness. I would say that upon the journey, there comes times when there's different levels that you do discover happiness. And the wonderful thing is, another level always comes. And then you'll get accustomed to it and you'll wonder where it went. But where it went was in the raising of your consciousness, and you become used to it. And then time will go by a little bit, could be a long time, and all of a sudden there's another burst of illumination and happiness. And that's how it happens. That's what this journey is really about. So I encourage you, go ahead, shed tears as you discover these parts of you who are wounded inside or that have never felt love. And you may say to me, well, that's ridiculous. Well, it's not when you realize there's 144,000 pieces. It could have been other times, could have been you weren't awake. And that's going to be the difference, is you're starting to clear from an awakened state than from the prepared state that your parents leave you in. God bless them. I'm not saying anything negative about them, but it is the process. It's to give the individual soul an opportunity to discover who they are. So take a minute. Well, who are you? And you could probably all tell me, and that's fine. And I'm going to say to all of you, there's still more. The truth to always learn about your journey is there will always be more. Even for me, there's always more. Every couple weeks, something else comes. An illumination. One day I had a fever for 3 days. No symptoms, nothing else. And just everything was pure gold when I woke up. And light. So you just don't know. You just don't know. Just keep your feet moving forward and searching for the love. And another, yes, Jesus' presence. Okay, good. Well, he'll be here tomorrow. He's telling me, well, he's here now, but we're trying to make it once a week. Especially with all the moving that's going on. And then we'll see what happens afterwards. All right. Yes. So, any questions about all that? And there's Carol Swisher. Good morning to you. Glad to have you come and show up here. Wonderful. All right. Now, I lost my thoughts. I had all these things I was going to talk about that were similar. Yes. You want to know that you do not walk your path alone, that you have many angels and also masters, that as you get to know who they are, you can call on them and to support you, and that you never want to go out and journey in the world without your higher self. So that is your number one, I always impress, that you need to discover and have them go with you. Because why? Because they are your protector and they will help you find your way home. And that's important. You know, we all have a silver cord. We're connected to the heavens. But sometimes we might go out and go places where might get destroyed, might get snagged on something. So you need to always go and call in your higher self to go with you. And they love you more than you can imagine how much they love you. And you need to let that all happen. All right. So any questions today? Did you have anything come up this weekend that you might want to hear or know more about? So let's just talk about getting to where we can be our intimate self everywhere. I'm not talking about nudity. I'm talking about those things that we hold precious inside ourselves. Our love, our personality, our feelings. You know, that's a huge piece of ourselves that's hidden so deep that that's why we do healing. You may not even know it yourself. So as you begin to start this journey, and you've probably all been on it, working and sitting here with me, it's probably going to become more intense. It's going to be about being vulnerable. And we've all probably lived life at a certain time when that would be a bad word. We don't want to be vulnerable because then we become a victim, when actually, in truth, it's the absolute opposite. So when you can own yourself and without, oh, I wonder what they're thinking. Oh, would this be appropriate? Oh, what should I do? You have begun to allow your courage and strength to demonstrate within you. And this is a powerful thing. This is another level of safety that comes for you. Let me see what Cavell's saying here. I look forward to help in my journey by my guides. Yes. So, first, ask for your higher self. And open your heart and see if you can either feel something come into you, all of you, or maybe you can see a color if you have vision. And just keep working with it. Understand they know how to come to you. Where the issue would be is within you. And it is waking consciousness so that you can have your vision and your sensitivity, your kinesthetic ability through your root, because you're safer, can begin to allow that energy to touch you. They usually come in on your left. And what you're going to see are the shoulders. Like you'll see shoulder, head, and shoulder. And there'll be a color filled, or maybe even with an outline, or it may be one color. That's letting you know that someone is coming in to speak with you. So I wonder, have any of you had that happen? Whether it's your higher self or someone else. I've actually had someone who had, we assumed an Indian chief because there was also a blue feather sticking up. So when you begin to feel these things and you hear In the beginning, it might sound like your own voice, but as you, again, let go of the fear and surrender, it may become more of a distinguished frequency. And I like to take it all into frequency because that's what we're all about. And then you'll always know that's who's coming, because they'll have not only a certain color and a way it shows itself, but also how they address you will be unique and different. And I would never tell anyone that, because your higher self is for you. So my higher self always addressed me in one way. So if anyone tried to pretend that they were him, they would not know that. And I would know that they weren't him. And that's one way to begin. Okay. So we're talking about the journey here and how you can get about it. You also need to be very rooted. I think I have a video up about getting rooted. I sometimes see a bright light on my left shoulder. Well, that's probably your higher self attempting to get your attention. So you need to invite him or her into your heart. And that's the safe place to let them come. But in that, you will see more of them. If you can see a bright light, then if your eyes are closed, you can see the shape of the shoulders and the head. And it begins to let you have some kind of a form. And then if you hear her or his voice, then you're going to know who it is. You know, at first it doesn't have to be about a name. You know, at first it has to be about frequency and seeing and feeling. You know, we all have different gifts. Some people feel, some people see. It doesn't matter, because everybody has all gifts. It depends on your journey and awakening all of you up as to how and when they come. So what kind of things I'm hearing in my head? Questions. That's one way to do it, right? What would they talk about? Well, first, my first question was, and you don't have to do the same thing, is, why are you here with me? Ask what they've come for. And how are you going to help me? And then they'll somehow get that information to you. If you're going to write it, you want to just start circling and circling. Even when you go to speak eventually, you want to have your mouth working. You don't want to have them have to start it. So you want to just start and maybe making the word the, and you'll be surprised. It'll start going. Now they'll write very large. In the beginning, it's all very large. And even afterwards, like the masters I work with, each has their own distinguished light writing that comes through. They don't write my handwriting. That would be me. So it's going to be different. And it's to be open and to know that. So, Cavell, does that make sense what I'm saying to you? Let me see. And then we'll work on how to make that even more a union for the two of you. The higher self is that first level of God that knows God and your world. You get much beyond that, and they only know God. So the higher self is really here to help you become in a higher state of consciousness, because they can see where you're thinking, but they know where the process is to support thinking in a loving state. You know, the world, we think, has answers in it, and yet it doesn't. It has lessons for us to learn. That's why we're here in this. She's saying, yes, it does. Thank you. All right. Like, we want to help people in their sadness. And I don't know if it's been a while back. They may still do it. I don't know. Show all the little hungry children in India, it used to be. And on one of my visits to the heavens, did you know that those children are all masters? They've all decided to take this life so that people can heal. Look how big their eyes are. No mistake, you know. So you have to get beyond thinking things is what you're used to seeing. Think beyond that. Well, who is that? Who would make that choice? Who? Someone who has learned all about themselves and willing to help support another so that more people would give. What is the difference between your higher self? Been with me for a long time. Wait a minute. Oh, it jumped. What is the difference between your higher self and your I am presence? There are 352 levels of beings between your higher self and your I am presence. It is the God self, complete, no question. So upon your journey, you're going to be working towards increasing that consciousness and that level of divinity as you move through it. I have a big picture of the presence here. I'll have to see with Doug how I can show that to you. I don't have a little picture. But it's a process of having it come down to be with you, and you can begin by starting to call in it. I think I've already given you a few things that would call your I am presence in. But remember, in that state, there's only love and only truth and pureness and clarity. All right? So I'm going to get about getting a picture for you, Barbara, to show you. Kathy says, I understand. I didn't know about inviting him into my heart. I will do that as I know he has been with me for a long time. How powerful is that? Yes, why not the heart? The heart's where it holds all the wisdom. And eventually, as you work, you're going to connect your heart to your throat and to your third eye so that you can see and speak it. So you don't want to bring it into your third eye. It's bring it into your heart. But you'll be able to still see. It'll show up here. Trust me. All right. All right, Julie Johnson, good morning. Thank you for coming back. We're glad to have you. Okay, any other questions? Well, this is a very good beginning on wanting to know more and to know that you have your own guardian angel who's always there. And I doubt many of you take the moment when you need someone to call in that angel. I have permission from my angel to tell you who she is. I'd had a bad experience years ago. Gosh, probably in my 30s. And I was at a healing session learning. And at lunch, they had me lay on the table for everyone to, put their hands on me. Something I didn't let a lot of people do then. And I heard this voice. And I could see her. And you know who it was? I'll never forget it. She had the voice and the look of Glinda from The Wizard of Oz. And I know you're going to tell me I was crazy. And it has never changed. And she always comes. And she has her globe. And she's laughing. You got to believe. So, and whatever that was went away. And yours may not be Glinda, but it's a powerful energy that can truly help you as your belief grows. You have to believe for it to work. You have to understand the magic of God and that love and what it is. Okay, I'm just checking here to make sure I have no more questions. So that was a life-changing moment inside me when so clear I heard her voice sounded just like her, and then this radiance came and I could see her. I got up and I said, okay, I'm done. Because you know what it is all about? It's about believing. It's having hope. And you got to find a way to let that become who comes alive inside of you. Because if you walk around, oh, I don't know, and in doubt and in questions, it's a negative consciousness, if I can help you understand. It's a negative consciousness, and we want you to move into a loving consciousness. You know, love is the highest thing there possibly is, and that's what God is. He's just love. So I'll never forget that on that moment when I thought my world was over, and there she was. And so we've been on our journey. And then my higher self was another powerful being. So if you don't know who it is, you might want to check it out. And, we're all chosen to come to this group and our communing. You're chosen to become a vessel of God's light. No, I'm not going to tell you you're being chosen to be, I'm not some world famous person, but I have a lot of wisdom and information that has been discovered by me through a lot of healings, and then that is impressed upon me. So here we are. So you got to think about that. God chose you. That's as simple as I can make it. Let's see. That is a wonderful image too. Oh, it is. It was wonderful. I never forget it. And I can tell you the ball was gold and she had on this beautiful pink dress. It was wonderful. Do we also have, if you're asking me a guardian angel, yes. I said, may not be Glinda, but it'll be someone who's there to have their wings wrap around you and to bring you resolution. Because you know the old tale that where two sit in the name of God, Jesus or someone heavenly will appear. It's true. So when you call in those who are naturally around you, you'll begin to feel that presence. Do we also have an Ascended Master sponsor? I'm going to check in. It's actually going to depend on who you are and your level of development. It's very challenging for masters to come into this world and be present. I would say there's maybe 50,000 people, so Jermaine once told me, who channel him. And certainly not all of them in their clarity and accuracy. And that's okay. But I'm trying to make a point. So, as you work and begin to become clearer and clearer, that'll be a support for them to come in and to be able to speak clearly and move through that clear channel. So that's a question mark. I don't really know any of you on a personal level. And with people I work with now, I would not say that I've seen that. But is it possible? They're going to say yes. Again, depending on what you can remember from who you were. Right now, a lot of ascended masters have forgotten everything to come in to be here. That's just what I did. I was ascended, chose to come back to Earth, and grew with a lot of the gifts immediately because they were there, and had to still go through the journey and do even deeper clearing to become that which is here to help the Earth now. So there's a lot that we just don't have in a book to understand. But a master is someone who is harmless, and all about love, just love. And I'm hoping that you felt love from here on my channel. I would hope so. I am known as the mother of nurturance. There are many mothers, like an office, that all do different things. This happens to be that which was given to me for me to make use of. So the masters are similar, the masters we know of as Saint Germain, even Jesus and the Buddha. It's an office in the hierarchy. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. And it's always changing. So who we have as all my friends here, can't see them, I guess. They're still there, but they've changed the inner part. That person's moved on to grow more. It's a constant experience of growth. Sanat Kumaro moved on and is holding some huge amount of beings in his heart in a different location. And the last I heard, Buddha was holding his space. But Hilaron is the son of Sanat Kumara, and he's going to be taking over that place. She said, yes, I feel your love and energy all the time. So it's a huge, it's alive, it's a real thing. And there's movement, there is constant movement. And you're all becoming a part of it just by being here. That makes sense. You do epitomize nurturing. We can feel it. Okay. Well, good. I would be getting a thumbs up, and I have chills all over. Thank you so much. But it's challenging. There have been times people thought I was a weirdo. Because, like when I said, you have to come to know who you are, once I knew who I was, no one was going to tell me I wasn't. And because the knowingness that comes is without a doubt. So, just so you know, yes, and people who are the light will see me immediately. Like, that's why I love to go to Shasta. Everyone sees me, knows me, and we actually have met a group of people like ourselves that are masters from before who've come back to Earth. Actually, the person who's holding DK was such a thrilling experience because he's the teacher who helped me build my school. It was wonderful. And isn't that interesting that he happened to be there from London? They're all around the world. Guy Ballard, who showed himself to Saint Germain, was also George Washington. So he came back twice. A lot of them. That was another whole, oh my God, this is really true. I mean, when you see all the things we've seen, you really can't have any doubt that it's all real. Epitomize, I'm sorry I couldn't say that right. My eyes were a little wet. So, I'm here to have your questions answered. And yes, I have met the person who's holding Jesus, Mantle. Could be 100 people who are saying they're holding the energy of Jesus, but there only be one of each of these masters that between here and here holds the mantle. I hold the mantle of Mary Baker Eddy, who is also, because she was me, is very similar about thought and wrote a book and helped people. Christian Scientist. I'm not as limiting, or maybe that's what she had to shift, all that, but it's all an interesting process as you get to work with the hierarchy and understanding, well, who am I? And it may not be your time yet to know, but I really didn't have to figure it out because it would come up and people knew me. Last time, once I met Doug in Thailand, I became Thea. And I knew and I started to feel that I had more coming to my name. I had no idea what it was. And then we met Jermaine and Portia, And she walked up and hugged me, and she knew that I was TheoSophia. How about that? I mean, that's just how the world's been for me. And who's to say it can't be a similar thing for you? Holding the mantle. How do we find out more about the mantle? Well, you can look in, there's a lot of research that's always done, and things are always found 3 times. So I think first it's going to be that somewhere and somehow along the way, you might discover who you've been. And then you're going to look at this space, eyebrows to nose, and see if you look similar to that person. You see? I don't know if you can read about the mantle, but that's what it is. It's when, if you go look at Mary Baker Eddy, we look exactly the same. And then we pulled up and found other people I was in other lives. So it's a very fascinating thing. We're not just new here. Some people may be, but I doubt if all of you here are. Okay? So the journey towards the ascension is what opens all these things up. Clarity, working on evolving those issues you have, that's where it's all hidden. I sometimes did 3 sessions a week. I have to figure this out. When we went to Thailand, there was 50 people, the highest energy people in the world. And that was illuminating. They all knew who we were. I can't say that I knew who they were. Well, at least not yet. Maybe today I would. But if you surrender and let the path happen, you're going to be guided to where you need to go to discover what you need to experience about yourself. And your heart's going to tell you that difference. You see? It's a lot of magic. And you begin to understand that the power of God is beyond anything that we know. You know, it's souls. Our souls go out there and find our partner. Yeah. And many times, for the evolved being, it'll be a twin flame. You know? So, didn't mean to talk about myself. But sometimes when you hear it, it makes you believe and understand how powerful and important the path is. Did it change my life? Absolutely, completely. My son used to kid me, "Did your name change today?" It hasn't changed now for a very long time. But I know who my name is. I know who I am and I was. And the TheoSophia is the goddess of wisdom. So, yellow ray. So you can begin to ask yourself, what ray are you drawn to? There's 7 of them. Blue, like this blue, the will to do. Yellow, illumination. Pink, for love. White, for clarity. H, Hilaron, it's green. You like how that came to me. And the 6th is Jesus's ray. It's ruby gold. It's peace. And finally, the last is violet, Saint Germain. So let's see. Surrendering to love in all aspects, use of self is the best teacher. You know what you come to know. Yes, it's all within you. And when you become you, you understand that you have all this information and wisdom all around you. And that's the powerful part. doesn't have to be the individual because you become not the individual, you become a part of the whole. Okay, I guess I'm going over my half hour, huh? It's just, that's why I'm hoping this conversation will open and grow, because there are so many people the world needs now in their evolution. Yeah. So I'm going to make a note. Tomorrow's Jesus, but on Thursday, I'm going to talk to you about what you have above your head. I won't give you the name now, which is where you may be finding some of your answers. All right? So, wonderful session. So glad you came. Please tell your friends. There's nothing they have to do but come. And I want to show you Paul the Venetian. He's the essence of the Holy Spirit, experiencing grace. See, he's pink, Orion's love, and the green of Hilaron. And he has a beautiful rose in his heart. Yeah, you see his eyes are illuminating. So he says, share your gifts with grace. Ways of inspiration and love are coming to you. Yay, let's accept that. She's saying she loves when I tell you part of my journey. Well, I love sharing it with you. I hope I don't. It's not from an ego place that it comes. It's just, I know when I was told, it was just like make me have an understanding of a greater love for myself. Okay, let's see. I got lost here. Julie Johnson, thank you for coming. Thank you, Cavell. Thank you. Lots of great information. Many blessings. This deck, the Master Bat deck, I don't have the lid here. I'll have it on Thursday. I'll put name of the cards. Yeah, they're all the masters. They don't have it on it. See, it's just the back. But it's here somewhere. Remember, we're packing. I think it's over my other desk. So, very good. I give you much great love from my heart and from all the many blessings of the masters who sit with me. And I hope you can feel that, and they will help you on your journey. I'm not just a one slick thing. And that's the great thing about it. So, talk to you tomorrow at 11. All right? Blessings. Oh, thank you. I think Friday they come and pick up all the things we're giving away. And the move-in is actually Monday. So we probably won't do Monday. But I'll clue you in tomorrow. All righty. Bye-bye.